Hi, welcome back to Boy in the Tower Storytime. I just wanted to say before we start, I'm very sorry that I didn't film Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week. I had some news, some bad news from the doctor about my health. Nothing to do with COVID-19, but I just felt, a bit sad and a bit like not up to filming, so I am sorry. But do let me know if people are still watching these videos, because I'm not getting many comments on them. So if you are still watching, then do leave a comment to just say, oh, I'm still here, I'm still watching you, just so I know that I'm not videoing for nobody. So yeah, last chapter. Dory has been catching pigeons, and she went to go and show Addie how to do it too, so they could catch pigeons for their dinner. So we got up to Addie outside on the balcony catching the pigeons. So let's see if he manages it, and let's see if they manage to get out of this tower. So they've been there for ages. Chapter 48. The pigeon goes into a cage in Dory's flat, where it puffs up its feathers and flattens itself down. It looks a bit like a fluffy ball sitting there. Pigeon watches its every move. Remember, Pigeon is the name of the cat. Pigeon watches its every move, but when he realises it isn't going to fly away, he comes and sits down at the bottom of the table by our feet. We eat porridge again that morning. We are running low on golden syrup now and have to make do with a much smaller yellow blob in the middle of our bowls. After breakfast, we go back upstairs and Dory catches another 2 pigeons quite easily. Then she asks me if I want to have a go at catching them. She shows me how you need to choose the one you want to catch, and then you keep your eyes on it so much it seems like all the others disappear. When that happens, you swoop your arms down and pick it up. Simple. I don't find it very easy. I keep hesitating about how to pick them up, and they fly away before I can get my hands around them. After about 5 tries, Dory says I must try and imagine that I'm picking pigeon up instead, and the next time I do it, I get one. It's a little white and grey bird with black beady eyes. I suddenly wish I could show Gaia the bird I've caught. I wish she could have seen me swoop down and pick it up and press it close to my chest to stop it from panicking. I know that she'd be good at catching pigeons too. I'll show her how to do it when I see her again, I think. But then another thought fills my head. What if I don't see Gaia again? What if we don't make it out of the tower? What if I can't find her? What if I never see Gaia again? The thought makes the world feel like it's tipping over, and I suddenly feel sick with the realisation that I'll never be able to speak to her again. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. I can't concentrate on what I'm doing, and I loosen my grip on the pigeon I've caught, and it starts flapping and I can't hold on to it. I let it go and it flies off frantically until it becomes just a tiny dot in the sky, and then it disappears altogether. Don't worry, Dory said. Do you want to try it again? I nod, but I can't catch another one after that. I can't stop thinking about Gaia. Let's stop now, Addie, Dory says after a while. She puts her hand on my back and gives my shoulder a squeeze. I think you're missing someone, aren't you? I recognise that face. I see the same one in the mirror when I'm missing someone. Who do you miss, Dory? My husband, my children, my mother, my father, my sisters and brothers. I'm about to ask where they are, but Dory carries on talking. And then, you know what I realised, Addie? That it was a good thing to be missing someone, because that means you really care for them. It means you have a love in your life, whether that person is right there in front of you or not. Then I don't mind quite so much. So whoever it is that you're thinking about, you know that all of your love and your caring is travelling to them right now. They'll know it, they'll feel it. They're probably sending it right back to you now, this very minute. I don't know what to say back to Dory. I just follow her head down the corridor, playing a game in my head where I try to tread in exactly the same places where she treads. I find that I can do it quite easily, and if I was winning points for doing it, I probably would have got like 100 at least. I used to play it with Gaia, but she would get annoyed and say, "Stop following me around, Adelaide, and talk to me properly." I don't think Dory realises that I'm doing it though, because she didn't ask me to stop. When we get back to her flat, Dory picks the first bird that we caught out of the cage and goes into the kitchen to fetch a sharp carving knife. We go into one of the flats which are not keeping food in. Have you ever seen anything being killed, Addie? Dory asked me. I think about the time I saw a dog run into the road, but when the car screeched to a halt, it walked off quite unconcerned. I tell Dory that I haven't. These days, everyone's kept at arm's length from the fact that we kill to eat. Unless you're a vegetarian, of course. You can just go into a shop and buy a lovely big chicken, Well, you used to be able to anyway. And you don't have to get your hands dirty at all. It's all plucked and trussed and packaged up and ready for you to bung in the oven. It's someone else's job to kill the animals. We don't see it anymore. It's just the way things are these days. When I grew up, everyone had chickens and ducks in the garden. Some would even have a goat or a few pigs. It wasn't out of the ordinary. As children, we got used to seeing a headless chicken wandering around. It just meant that dinner was on its way. Dory, why did you see a headless chicken running around? Because my mum had just cut its head off, dear Addie. That's one of the ways people killed them back then. But the thing is that their bodies still move, so they start flapping about, but they haven't got a head. It's a little bit gruesome. My dad used to say it wasn't very respectful, so he taught me another way to do it. It's quick and there's no blood. Shall I show you? I nod. Dory grasps the legs of the bird with one hand and holds it up so its head is hanging down. She speaks to it in a low voice, but I can't hear what she's saying. Then she puts her other hand around its neck so its head is tilted back a bit. Very quickly, she pulls up the one hand and down with the other. I'm not sure if I hear it really, but I think there is a sort of pop. The pigeon starts thrashing around, but Dory just holds it still and keeps talking to it in the same gentle voice as before. It doesn't take long before it hangs quite still. I come a bit closer to inspect the dead bird. Its eyes are still open, but it's quite lifeless. The force that made it flap its wings and peck desperately at handfuls of seed is gone. Where has it gone to? Is it still floating around us, ready to be carried in the wind to another place? What did you say to it, Dory? I ask her. Just nice things, really, and thank you for feeding us. If someone was killing me for food, I would like them to say comforting things to me. I would like to know that they were grateful to eat me. Yes, I guess I would too. We look at the dead pigeon a little longer before Dory puts it down on the table and goes to get the other birds we caught. Each one she treats with the same tenderness and speaks to it in the same soft whisper. It doesn't take long before there is just a small heap of their soft, warm bodies. Dory shows me how to pluck the birds. I'm not sure if I want to at first, but once I start, I get quite good at it. Dory calls me lightning fingers because I'm able to do it quickly. The feathers come out much more easily than I thought. Dory says that it's because we have only just killed them. We can make a bit of a mess, Dory says, because we can always use this as our plucking room from now on. Little grey feathers float all around us in the air and settle onto the carpet like snow. After that, Dory shows me how to cut off the bit of the wing that you don't eat, and she carefully cuts out 2 bits from the body of the bird, which she says is called the breast meat. The meat looks rich and dark purple-red. Look at all the goodness in this, Addie, Dory says. This will keep us going. There is one last thing to do, which is to get rid of the parts that we aren't using and all the feathers that we have plucked. Dory says they've come back from the air, so that's where we'll put them back. We throw them up, up, up into the light blue sky from the balcony. For just a few seconds, the bodies of the birds look like they're flying before they plummet down to the bottom of the tower, but the feathers drift slowly down like a swirling grey storm.